Hi, so today we are going to talk about programming. This topic is probably the most important topic if you want to get the best results in your training. In weight training or any other kind of resistance training, whether it be with weights, without equipment, home workouts, etc. Programming is the foundation of any long-term success. Yes, programming is very complicated and complex, and you can go into the smallest details, but there are some things that apply to almost everybody. We will now cover the fundamentals of programming, but before we jump into that, I just need to mention one thing. Before you even begin programming your workout, you need to know the reason why. In other words, you need to have a specific goal. Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to gain muscle, maybe you want to do both. After we have our goals set, we can start talking about programming fundamentals. There are four major pillars in programming: volume, frequency, intensity, and recovery. In programming terms, volume is the amount of work you do in a certain period of time. So it can be a day, it can be a week, or it can be a month. Frequency is the number of times you train one muscle group or one lift in a week or in a month. And intensity is the amount of weight that you lift. It's not your perception of how hard it is. These four pillars can't be talked about independently because they are so mutually connected. If you do high volume or high frequency workouts, you can't do high intensity, for instance. Okay, so let's now cover the probably most important pillar of them all, and that's volume. As we said, volume is the amount of work you do in a certain period of time. You can track volume in a number of ways, but the most common one is tracking the overall tonnage of your workout. This may sound complicated, but trust me, it's very simple. Let's take squats. So if you do 3 sets of 12 reps with 100 pounds, that means the amount of volume that you did is 3,600 pounds. So we simply multiplied the number of sets, the number of reps, and the weight that you're using. If you do a different variety of reps or weights per set, you multiply each set. So you multiply the number of reps with the weight that you're using, and then you add all together. So you add each set and you get the final amount of your workout volume. So if you want, for instance, lose weight, then high volume, high reps per set, high frequency with low intensity is the ideal. The examples of that are HIIT, high intensity interval training, steady state cardio, and doing high reps with low weight in the gym. You can do these kinds of workouts every other day because they're not that intense. They burn your muscles, but they work more your cardiorespiratory system than your muscle. The burning in the muscles is just the built up waste material and lactic acid in the muscles. And of course, you're probably going to get sore from that kind of workout. But if you want to gain muscle, you will probably want to lift heavier, because doing high reps and feeling the burn is not ideal for muscle growth. So if you want to gain muscle, you need to lift relatively heavy weights in a 6 to 12 rep range to get optimal muscle growth. And this is scientifically proven number of times in a lot of different studies that research muscle growth. The amount of times that you do these kind of workouts depend on your recovery ability and on your training experience. This is usually once or twice per week for most people. It's not very smart to train heavy every other day because you can and most likely will get injured. That's why I would never suggest this kind of training for beginners, because you really need to know what you're doing. One thing is doing jumping jacks and pulsing, pumping squats and lunges with body weights than doing heavy squats or heavy deadlifts without proper technique. That's just dangerous. Okay, so now frequency. The number of times you train one muscle group or one lift in 1 week or in 1 month. Imagine you do 3 sets of squats only once per week. That's low intensity because, well, you train only once per week. If you do high volume and high intensity, you can't do high frequency because your body can't recover from that much stress. But if you do low volume and high frequency training, meaning only 3 sets of squats with low intensity, you can probably do squats 3 times per week, so high frequency. But if you do squats with heavy weights, you can do it only once, maybe twice per week. If you do squats twice per week, it's smarter to go 1 day lighter with higher reps, so between 12 to 15 reps, and the other day go a bit heavier with lower reps, so 8 to 10. So high frequency likely means low volume. High volume means lower frequency. Where's intensity in all this? Okay, so, well, intensity means the amount of weight that you're lifting, not your perception of how hard it is. Doing 100 squats, body weight, can be very challenging, but it's not very stressful for your body. So if you're well trained and you do 100 squats today, you can probably do them tomorrow as well, without any problem. But if you do 5 sets of 10 reps with relatively heavy weight, you won't be able to squat the day after because that's so much stressful, that's so much more intense for your body, and you won't be able to recover properly. You will need about 4 to 7 days to recover from that training. So this is how intensity impacts volume and frequency. If you lift heavy, you can do it a lot of times per week. Also, if you do high volume, you can do it with heavy weight. And if you lift heavy, you can do many sets. But keep in mind, high volume isn't only high reps per set. High volume is the overall reps. So high volume would be also if you're doing 10 sets of 5 reps. That's also high volume, okay? Okay. Also, if you're lifting very light, then yes, you can do a lot of sets and you can do it also more frequently. But if you're lifting heavy, probably more than 3 sets it's too much. And that's why you can see those fitness girls doing hundreds of reps every other day, and you can see powerlifters doing 3 to 8 only once or twice per week. And you can see bodybuilders doing a massive amount of volume and also once or twice per week. It's because if you have high intensity, you can't have high volume or high frequency, and that's all because of recovery. So if you do high volume, you will recover longer than if you do low volume. Also, if you do high intensity, you will have to recover for longer than if you do low intensity. That's why you can do home workouts without weights every day, but you can go heavy on deadlifts every day, because you will not be able to recover properly, and low recovery can lead to injury. Okay, I talked a lot. I know this video is already so long, so I will end it here. I hope I explained some stuff so you can know at least some basics of programming. I will surely talk about this in more detail in the future. But as I said, for now, these are the basics, and you just need to know what's your goal and how you will address all of this to your workout. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe. Bye!